How to repair a Birmingham Dribbler, Part 1. This small steam toy failed owing to a broken axle shortly after I bought it in the early 1980s, and it's just been sat on various shelves ever since. First, let me explain what this thing is. It's called a Birmingham Dribbler. Mine is covered in cobwebs, it's very old and it doesn't work. And oddly enough, that really brings back vivid memories of a girlfriend I once knew. Anyway, that's enough of that. This Birmingham Dribbler was manufactured by a company called Maxwell Hemmons. The good thing about this toy is it is not play-worn. It broke very quickly after I bought it. Here are some different angles of it, and somehow it has a charm all of its own. It's not designed to go on a track, the front wheels are steerable, and it does dribble oil and water everywhere when it's running. It's the sort of thing that you would run around the lino in the front room. Then your mother would come in, skid on the oil, and smash into the wall at the far end of the room. Luckily, I was much older by the time I bought one of these, and in my house we didn't have any lino. That was from a much earlier time. So here are the shots of the Birmingham Dribbler. There's a tap to regulate the speed, a safety valve and a whistle. I brushed off most of the cobwebs with a paintbrush, but some were still remaining, so it's time to call in the cavalry, which means I'm using my compressed air line to blow away all the dust and cobwebs. This is the underside. You can see the firebox, and you can also see that the front wheels swivel. I suppose it would be possible to lock them into position and run it on a track, but beware viewers, these are not very powerful things at all, and they are not very strong either. For instance, the safety valve is screwed directly into a threaded part of the boiler barrel itself. I don't know what I ran this on at the time, but it was very dirty stuff. I think it was possibly Mamod pellets. The underside of the boiler is very black indeed. I am going to clean this thing up, but not too far. I do not want it to look new, but I do want it to work. How much fun it must have been running this red-hot small toy under tables and chairs while people were sitting at the table and burning the legs. It would have also been very useful for harassing the family pet. That's the health and safety out of the way. It's time to get on with the job of cleaning this. Here I'm cleaning the burner, and I think that this is probably a methylated spirit burner, not really suitable for solid fuel pellets. Here it is, cleaned up a bit, and it's looking better already. I suppose I could leave it like this, but no, I need to just take it up a league and at least make the effort to clean it. This is the main problem. The screw that I'm removing at the moment I fitted because the axle broke at the end. Removing the brass screw at the other end was quite difficult, and in the end it got chewed up a little bit. Here's the problem. At the end of each axle it's machined down to fit into the wheel. And what happened with this model was the axle broke at the end where it goes into the wheel. The axle is only 3/16 of an inch in diameter, and it's machined down at each end to fit into the wheel, which is a bit less than 3/16 of an inch in diameter. When I took this apart all those years ago, I was very surprised to find that the axles were not quartered. And there was no real way of stopping the wheel from rotating on the axle, so obviously the quartering was out and the engine wouldn't go. Even at this early stage of the restoration, I'm going to apply some oil to the port faces and the cylinders just to make sure they're okay. And the good news is the port faces are not too badly worn, and the pistons work in the cylinders. As I pull the pistons in and out, the oil is pulled in and out of the cylinder too. At this stage, after pumping more oil into the cylinders, I remove them entirely. These oscillating cylinders are held in place onto the port faces in the normal way, using a spring and a long bolt. At this stage I noticed that the chimney was loose, so with the help of a screwdriver I tightened the bolt that held it in place. I removed the safety valve and applied some very low pressure compressed air to the boiler. When I opened the tap, this is what happened. The O-rings were all in quite good condition with the exception of this one, the O-ring that seals the whistle in place. This was very hard and snapped into two pieces. I'm going to attempt to clean the underside of the boiler. I used some Scotch-Brite soaked in this stuff. Carbusonic EP24R ultrasonic cleaning liquid. This combination of the Scotch-Brite and the cleaning liquid did clean the underside, but I thought it was too abrasive for the sides of the boiler that are visible. For this area I'm using a toothbrush and once again the Carbusonic liquid. This seemed to be taking a long time and I thought to myself, I'm being stupid here. Why should I do it this way when I have an ultrasonic cleaner? Why not put all of the engine into the cleaner with some Carbusonic liquid and leave it to do its stuff? At least I'd given the job a bit of a head start. Here's a Carbusonic liquid on top of the cleaner. My ultrasonic cleaning machine is perfectly positioned because it's right next to the sink and makes it very easy to fill the unit with water and then empty the residue out after the job's been done. If this is making certain people rush to the toilet, I do apologise. It's not affecting me. I've changed my medication. After filling the ultrasonic cleaner to the correct level, I added some Carbusonic liquid. Then I put all of the parts I wanted to clean in the basket, put that into the water, then I just switched on the machine. On this digital ultrasonic cleaner, the heater is useless. It's just enough to keep the water slightly above or below where it started. While the ultrasonic cleaner is doing its stuff, this is the broken axle. This end's okay, but this end snapped off. You can see that the part is turned down very slightly, which makes the threaded part very weak. I think I'll make another axle and modify the design slightly, using a much longer 5BA bolt. Just so I don't lose anything, I always put them in small plastic boxes. After the ultrasonic cleaner, the engine did come out of the mixture a good bit cleaner, but covered in a white residue, which thankfully is very easy to remove. A bit of work with some Brasso should put this right. Happy Boxing Day 2023. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists you can actually watch the videos back to back.